Well, this summer, you'll be inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. A little bit of a wait, but what does this honor mean to you?
Oh, Brooke, it's a dream come true. Every young person, boy or girl, dreams of that call one day of possibly getting into the Hall of Fame in whatever sport that they choose to follow. And for me, as a young guy growing up in Southern California, kind of moved around a lot as a young person, but took up the game when I was 13 years of age. And I just fell in love with it. Golf kind of became my friend. And then all of a sudden become a professional golfer and play on the tour and, get out there and make a living at it, try to win a tournament here or there. And after a 35-year career, I got the phone call this last fall from the commissioner that I was going to be inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. So, yeah, it's really the icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake, too, is that you get to be inducted in July at St. Andrews.
Yeah, that's even more special. Being a former Open champion, I was fortunate to win the Open Championship in 1998 at Royal Birkdale, and I have a great passion for links golf. And then when I saw, actually before I even got the call, that they were going to have the induction ceremony in 2015, July 13th, which is the Monday of the Open Championship at St. Andrews this year. And I thought, wow, that's a great idea. That's going to be really cool. I didn't have any idea that I was going to be one of the guys that was going to be inducted in the World Golf Hall of Fame. So that's just another great honor to certainly be there, be in a historic site. St. Andrews is an amazing little town. It's an amazing golf course, and to have the World Golf Hall of Fame induction ceremony there is going to be very special.
Well, you mentioned 1998. What a year for you at the age of 41. You won the British Open and the Masters. What special memories do you have from that year?
Well, I think 98 was a cool year from the standpoint at 41 years of age. I don't think anybody, including myself, expected something like that to happen. To go to Augusta National, play practice rounds with Tiger, which I always was doing, and I wasn't hitting it very good. I wasn't very confident. And then lo and behold, I was there Sunday afternoon in the final group with Fred Couples, and birdied 3 of the last 4 holes, the last 2 to make a putt on the 18th hole to win the Masters. I don't know what happened. I mean, it all came about so quickly. And then certainly to have Tiger put the green jacket on me, he had won the Masters in '97, and it was really cool. It was a really, really neat year. And then later in the year to go and win the Open Championship was cool.
Well, the Masters this year, you shot 68 twice, tied for 22nd. How did it feel out there?
Being a Masters champion, and even though I'm 58 years of age now, I think it was my 32nd Masters this year that I played in. And every time I go, it's just a treat. To be a Masters champion, to be in a position to play in the Masters, is an honor. But yet I still want to play well. It's my pride, and I haven't made the cut in about 9 or 10 years. And even though I've played well, I've missed the cut by 1 shot a bunch of times. Very disappointed. And this year, I got there and I was playing well going into the Masters, and I had a really good day on Friday, 68, to get me to make the cut. I certainly was way behind Jordan Spieth, but I was 1 ahead of Tiger, which was kind of cool on Saturday. And then I didn't play as well on Saturday. I made some bogeys, but I came back with a strong 68 on Sunday and tied for 22nd. So at the end of the week, after it was all over, we looked at the stats, and I was 3rd in most birdies made that week, behind Jordan Spieth and Justin Rose, who finished 1st and 2nd. And then I was like number 1 in driving accuracy. So I know I can't hit it as far as the kids, but I still feel at times that I can play reasonably well to compete at a decent high level.
You played a couple practice rounds with Tiger. What kind of advice were you guys giving each other?
Well, I mean, Tiger's a very dear friend, and I haven't seen him much over the last 5 or 6 years, and it's always nice. He's fought injuries, he's had personal difficulties. We all have those. I've had them in my life too, and but it was nice to be on the golf course and inside the ropes and reminisce about some of the past memories that we've both shared together. And he's been a great friend. He's been a great motivator to me. I'm a huge Tiger Woods fan. I appreciate what he's done for the game and certainly what he's done for me. I think a lot of times when you play with somebody really good, it motivates you to play better. And he certainly has helped do that for me with my game and my profession.
Well, so now you and Tiger are working together at Blue Jack National, new course that is being built outside of Houston. Tiger's first adventure designing a course. What do you think is going to be so special about this course?
Well, I think Blue Jack National out in Magnolia, Texas is an incredible piece of property. I think Tiger saw the property, was memorized by the property, saw how beautiful it was, the potential that the property had. and decided to put his name on it. And I've been out there as they've moved dirt over the last year and a half, 2 years, as they got the grassing going, and hopes to have a opening, I think, later this year in the fall, sometimes late October, early November. And it's going to be beautiful. And I wouldn't say anything less than that, because I've certainly played a lot of golf courses. I've been fortunate to design a few golf courses. And Blue Jack National, in my opinion, is going to be extremely special, especially for the Houston area.
Now, your other passion is fly fishing, and you're actually going to have that incorporated into your locker through the Hall of Fame. You just got to tell us a little bit about that.
And so every World Golf Hall of Fame member has their own locker, and it's there on display for everyone to come in and see kind of, I guess, some of the hobbies and some of the passions that the members of the World Golf Hall of Fame have. And so for me, I told them, I said, look, I have so many hobbies that I love to do. It's difficult to put them all in one locker. You know, I said, I love to ride my snowmobiles. I said, I'd give you one of my snowmobiles. Well, that wouldn't really fit. And so I said, okay, how about this? You know, I'm an avid fly fisherman. I love to tie. Maybe I could get a couple of companies that I buy stuff from and I like to use their equipment to display some of the stuff. They'll be there forever, so people can see that, you know, I'm just not a golfer. I mean, I love a lot of other things that a lot of people enjoy as their hobbies too.
Well, Mark, congratulations. Enjoy the celebration in St. Andrews, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much, Brooke. Appreciate that.